to Chapter 5 for the Labor Relationship Management course. This is using the McGraw-Hill book. They call it Labor Management Strategy, Structure and Constraint by John W. Butt, Labor Relations Striking Balance. The author of this book, it is copyright by McGraw-Hill here, so, okay? So you will see here McGraw-Hill. So we'll start here. The learning objective, there's about 4 of them. Compare traditional United States union strategy and their alternative. Understand the organizational structure of union and their labor management in the U.S. Discuss the range of possibility management strategy toward labor union and how they relate to human resource strategies and business strategies. And analyze labor relation environment influence and constrain labor relation outcome. So we're going to use the book because they are mostly in the US based. Now, Industrial Relations School of Thought, there's a mixed motivate employment relation conflict where the employer have a shared interest, but also have an inherent conflict of interest. So the conflict will be natural and expected, not pathological and to be suppressed. Excuse me. I've been having a sore throat for the last week or so, for this week. So labor law, it seeks to design system and policy to manage this conflict to create productive workplace that balance efficiency with equity voices. Within the legal framework, labor and union employer design strategy and build organizational structure to pursue their objectives. The labor history revealed that alternative union strategy will have a political emphasis on the national labor union. In the UK, we have a Labour Party, business unionism of the AFL, a referring approach of the World War. And since the 1950, however, United States labor union have primarily followed the business unionism philosophy. Within this, there is an emphasis on servicing model to pursue job control unionism through industrial relationship. Okay. But pressure to change, business unionism versus socialism, service model versus organizational model, job control unionism versus employee empowerment unionism, industrial unionism versus craft occupational unionism. Business unionism is strong workplace unions, collective bargaining is the key, external capitalist institutions, equity through workplace union protections, voice to workplace union representation. A good example of unionism is the TTC, is the Canada Transportation, Toronto Transportation Commissions. Now it's currently on strike for 2 days, June 6 and June 7, where they have a strike because of the labor dispute with the management. That's why this is the time during the time in this video is recorded. Social unionism, strong community of network, workplace social and political actions, critical of status quo, equity to social justice, and voice to political and social movement. In terms of fixing models, workers pay dues in return for protection through collective bargaining grievance procedures. Workers consume union service. So the TTC and other models, union models like auto workers, they all use pay due. I used to be a member of the union also when I worked for a bus company. They have to pay union dues payment every month. Organization model, mobilize workers for empowerment and actions, worker participation in union and workplace activities including organizations. Alright, job control unionism, focus on specific job rights, seniority job classifications are important, equity to standardization and equal treatment, voice to union representatives. So it's all the good jobs, all the great jobs are usually given based on seniority. In the bus industry, they give the seniority to all the good routes to the senior driver. That's the same kind of issue. In terms of empowerment unionism, focus on creating procedure for empowerment. Skills are very important, equity through fair process, and voice to empowerment. So in terms of industrial unionism, represent all workers as a single workplace, bargaining power from controlling the entire workplace. Craft or occupational unionism represent workers in a single occupation in different workplace, responsive to homogeneous occupation. So scope of representations, the sole and scope of employee representation There's a matrix here given to you. The left side will be solo representations. The top side will be scope of representation. The model will be union official. For the passive servicing model, job control unionism, traditional craft unionism, and European social partnership here. While for the other one, union members, active organizing model, this is the active one, to employee empowered unionism, and the other one, social, will be social movement. Most union members have the greatest contact with their local union. Workers from a single workplace, workers from a single occupation, from several workplaces, for multiple occupation in multiple workplace in a multiple industry. I remember when I used to work for Loblaw, there's a union for all the people in the work that work in the warehouse. We have to follow that seniority in terms of the occupations. All the good places in terms of management are usually given to senior people. That is a standard way of doing things there. Nearly all unions are part of national union, support local union in organizing, bargaining, and managing contact. So this is an example of AFL-CIO. A good example will be change within the national union. The national union will be based on the officer and executive committee, political activities, collective bargaining, union organizing, and grievances. There are national union here, the office and executive committee, based on the organizing department, research department, education department, collective bargaining department. Let's look at the structure of the U.S. labor movement. So many national unions as part of labor federations. A labor federation is an association of labor unions that provides support and leadership to the labor movement, provides lobbying, research, and education, overall coordinations as well. The dominant phrase in the United States will be AFL-CIO. That's the most powerful one. In Canada, the most powerful unions are police union. That's number one. Second one is the firefighters union. The third one is teachers. The fourth one will be like government-related companies unions like TTC, and then OPSU. That's what they do, a lot of strike there if they do not get their demands. Okay, labor federations and individual unions also have international links to alliance of labor movements from around the globe. So in the United States, called the AFL-CIO. In Canada, will be the police union. Union democracy is championed because of the belief that the democratic union more effectively represent their members. It can be analyzed along three dimensions: procedural, which is based on democratic procedure in place, or behavior, do members vote or participate or not. Members, if you are members of union, you need to vote and participate to voice your concerns. Substantives are union leaders responsive to the rank and file. Union democracy, hierarchy power flow from the bottom up in unions. The national union might have the most formal power, contrast to the corporation. Human resource, in terms of management strategy, human resource industrial relation pattern. There are business strategies as well. There are business strategy, industrial patterns, business strategy. In terms of autocratic, we will cost leadership. In terms of partnership strategy, we will differentiations. The human resource management strategy is to minimize labor costs. That's it is autocratic system. But if paternalistic, will be develop and reward empowered employees. For supervision, this will be drive for autocratic, and it will be inspire for paternalistic. Employee will be as a commodities for commodities, while the paternalistic will be as an assets. Labor relation strategy is subject to union acceptance, such as adversarial or participatory for the paternalistic side, or the union avoidance based on the suppression side. The union avoidance tactics, the union or suppression, including the firing, screening out the pro-union application, plan closing or bankruptcy, double resting or relocation, subcontracting or outsourcing, non-union investment, facilitating decertification, surface bargaining, and use permanent strike replacement. That's the union suppressions. And then for the union substitutions will be above market pay benefits, opportunity for training and development, respectful supervision, and complaint given procedures all the way to committee and mechanism. Look at the labor relation environment. Labor management must contend with the collective strategy, pressure, and opportunity to labor relation environment. Dimensions include legal, economic, and socio-political and ethical situations. Excuse me. The legal environment. A system in every country establishes a framework for labor management interactions. The clearest component of legal environment is the set of law expedient pertaining to labor relationships, but also employment law and employment at will. The economic environment includes the labor market, the market for employees' products and services, and the market for other factors of production and the state of the overall economy. The economic environment clinical determine worker employment options. Unemployment is low and subject jobs are easy to find. A frustrated employee might quit and find better job as well. That is the conditions of what's going on. Okay. In terms of the socio-political environment, capture factors of socio-political analysis that influence labor management. Labor relationship environment can favor labor or management depending on the extent of social support for each group. Employment outcome can be influenced by public attitudes toward labor union. Some employees group rely on political lobbying rather than collective bargaining to improve wages and working conditions. Okay, so excuse me. Political environment affect also the labor environment relation, making it easier for harder for union to organize new workplace. So the external environment establish the parameter for decision maker. Specific action within this parameter result in choices by individual employee or managers or union leaders and shareholders. It is one potential influence which is ethics. The ethical environment, which is business ethics, studies moral standards as they apply to the business context. Business ethics is important in motivating force and potential constraint on the behavior, not only to judge the behavior but also to understand it. This is the sixth. This slide is represent the sixth ethical framework: ethics of utility, liberty, duty, fairness, virtue, and care. All the way, the focal point here. Like utility have the greatest good, with the cost-benefit analysis, inefficient and welfare reducing behavior. Liberty is based on the freedom to be left alone, property rights, and forcing individuals to use themselves and their property against their will. And fairness, justice to liberty, and the concern for the least well-off, well-off ignorance and different principle, placing efficiency above liberty as well. Alright, ethics again. Labor is an example here in terms of utilities. The management desire to be union-free based on the cost-benefit analysis, provision of equity or voice because they increase the productivity. And here the CARE is an example, Christian Union Initiative to organize worker by developing special relationship with worker, especially in the female-dominated field. Nursing is the most example of the area where there is a lot of female dominations. PSW is another area for personal support workers. Okay, all right. That is basically conclude this chapter. All right. So hopefully you can enjoy it. We are also available in Edpuzzle. You can use this for Edpuzzle for your practice. Thank you. See you in the next chapter.